Hello everybody, Zyvox here, and today we're going to be talking about a basic farm, how to plant it, how to harvest it, and where to sell it. So let's get started. Okay, so for the purposes of this tutorial, I have already turned off more of the advanced settings, so there's no crop destruction, no withering, no weeds. You don't need to fertilize. We're just going to do the basic things to get started. First step is picking a plot of land. Now I've already selected plot 20 just for the starter of this tutorial, but do remember that the more land you have, the more money you're going to make at the end of the harvest. So please keep in mind though that when you do buy your plot of land, you still have to get equipment. So budget that into your budget. And off to the next step. Okay, so you have your plot of land, but now you need to pick the type of crop that you want to harvest. Today on this tutorial, we're going to do wheat, but wheat also works with barley, oats, canola, soybeans, and sunflowers and corn. Basically the same thing with just a different header on the harvester itself. So off to the next step. Okay, so we picked our crop, wheat, but we need something to work with. We need a tractor. There are 3 tiers of tractor. There's small, medium, large. We are going to be working with a small field. So I'm going to pick a small tractor. A little bit of tip here though. The front loader attachment can only go on the small tractor and the medium tractor. So just keep that in mind for future stuff, right? So now that we're in the small tractors, things that I look for when picking a tractor. First of all, the first thing I look at is the amount of horsepower it has. That's how I judge the tractor, the amount of power it has. Also, the top speed. Because, yeah, 15 mile per hour, yeah, okay, it's really slow and it's really cheap, but you're most likely going to be selling crop with this tractor as well. And going 15 miles per hour back and forth to somewhere is not fun. So, look, see, the horsepower goes down on this one, but the miles per hour goes up, and you can just check your tractors. But for today, we're going to be using this one. Things I like to pick when I'm picking out a tractor, like things I must have. I need a front loader attachment for just in case I need to pick up stuff at the end of the day. We're not going to be doing that today, but just add that to your tractor. You might need it later. And upgrade the engine if you can. A little bit of extra horsepower makes things run a lot smoother. So I'm going to buy this and then go on to the next equipment. Okay, so you have your field, you have your first tractor, you have your crop. Now you need to do the first step in farming is cultivating. So you need to pick a object that's going to help you cultivate the land. And for this purposes, we're going to be doing basic stuff. So the categories we're in is cultivators, disc harrows, and some of these other ones can do a combination of the two. It's a little bit harder to explain, but we're going to stick to the basics today. So we're going to go into cultivators. Now, the things that I pay attention to when I'm picking something like this is the amount of horsepower that it takes to run the object and how wide it is, right? 3 meters is not that big. It will take a while on a really large farm, but we have a small one. So 6 meters will be okay. We're going to be working with this horse, Tiger 6DT at 39,000. And we're going to go and cultivate the land and get it through the first step. So we're going to go ahead and buy it. Then I'm here on my tractor. Just go to the tractor, go to the front of the cultivator, you attach it, and then you take it to your plot of land. I'm going to meet you over there and we'll go to the next step. Okay, so I'm here at my plot of field. I'm already lined up and ready. I'm going to unfold it. After it's unfolded, it takes a little bit of time. Then the next thing I need to do is lower it and drive straight. And what I like to do is hire a worker. All right, he's gonna do his thing. Things that you need to know is that when you cultivate a land, whatever crop was there before, it's gone. It's no longer there. You're starting over fresh. So this is now a new fresh plot of a field that you can work with. Other things you can do is if you look on your map, now we're here on the map, you go down to this filter called growth. And if you go to my plot, you can now see where I'm at. You can see that it's cultivated here, and you'll see the steps as you're going. So if you're in the game, you already done the steps and you're waiting for it to grow, you can actually see the growth steps before it gets to ready harvest. I'm gonna let this go for a while and let it cultivate the land, and then we're gonna go to the next step, which is planting. Okay, so I must admit, I made a little bit of a goof. Look how slow my tractor is going. It's going 3 miles per hour. If you go into my garage and you look into my cultivator, you can see actually how fast it can go. So what I did is, let's stop this guy real quick. We're gonna let him go because he was going 3 miles per hour, as I just upgraded. I made a little bit of a goof, and I seen what's going on, and now I got a medium-sized tractor. And now I'm going to show you a difference real quick, just in case you guys make this same mistake and you buy equipment that's too big and it's just going to run slow. Yeah, it's covering a large plot of land, but it's going to run really slow. Now, let's see, hire this tractor, this guy to work it, and now look how much faster it's going. So much faster, way better. So yeah, I goofed up, but I just wanted to show you guys that if your stuff is running slow, maybe the equipment that you're trying to drag or use is too big, or the requirements are too much for the tractor you're using. Okay, I'm gonna let this run and then I'll get back to you for the next step. Now we're at our next step. We need to plant the crop. So we're gonna be going to these two groups, seeders and planters. Planters and seeders, they plant different crop. Our crop is under seeders. Now, the way you can tell what type of crop it can plant is with these icons down here. Now, I know you can't see the name down here. I can tell this is wheat because I recognize the icon, but there is a website that has the names and the icons next to it, just in case you need a little help down the line. But if you don't want to go to that website and you just want to go in game, you can always go to the map and you can see the name and the icon right next to it. That way you can pick the appropriate seeder that you need. Now with these seeders, what we're going to be paying attention to is the amount of horsepower, so that you don't make the same mistake I made earlier, and how big it is, how much it holds, depending on your difficulty. I'm using normal and I'm hiring a worker. This is not going to affect me too much, but it may affect you. And also, some of these, on the side note, some of these guys, they can actually fertilize and plant at the same time. That's for another video. We can get into that later, but just keep in mind that some of these do two things at the same time. We're not going to do that. It's very basic. We are going to go to this blue guy right here. It's pretty big. My tractor can handle the weight, and it's all in one. Like, it just does the seeding. I like this one. I've used it over and over again. It's pretty light duty. We're gonna get this one. Okay, we have that one. We need seeds, so go to the box up here. Go to your big bags, and where's our seed? There's our seed bag. Buy yourself some seeds. You may need to buy two, depending on what you're doing. But for our purposes, we're going to hire a worker, and he buys seeds as he's going. But you need to make sure there's a little bit of seed inside the seeder. So we have our seeder connected to our tractor, and then we go to open cover. Oh, I think, there we go. And refill, you see at the very top. See at the very bottom, wheat is down there. We're refilling. Okay, I'm going to meet you at the field. We're going to go on to the next step. I'm at the field now, and I'm going to unfold my seeder real quick. And I just want to show you something real quick. The seeds that are in the seed bags are universal until it gets to the seeder. Once it's in the seeder, if you press your button, whatever your hotkey is, either you're on PC or using a controller, it can change the type of crop that you're using. See how I'm pressing the button? We want wheat, so I'm gonna keep going around until I hit wheat. Now we're gonna go to the crop, I am going to hire my worker. He's probably going to miss a little bit. That's okay for this tutorial, but hire my worker. And now he's planting. Remember, again, you can go into the map. You can look down below. See, use your map to tell what's going on. It's at this first step. I'm going to let this run for a little bit. We're going to let it plant. And I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's growing. And then we're going to go to our next step, which is harvesting. Okay, some things I wanted to talk to you about while this is planting the field. So time does take effect. Okay, you do not need to watch this grow a full 18 hours. That's how long it takes for it to grow. You can speed up time. My time button is 7 and 8. See at the very top right, you can speed up time. It's very useful for people running solo who just want to get the crop planted and then speed up time until it's done. Things that take effect while time is speeded up. If you have a leased item and you lease it and that 24-hour mark goes over, it's going to charge you again for another day. Withering is also something that's not in this tutorial, but it can take effect. Weeds and fertilization, you can skip all this. You can speed up time so fast and miss a complete step, and it can mess up your field a little bit. So just keep that in mind, that time does affect things. All right, so I'm gonna let this go. I'm gonna speed up time a little bit. I'm gonna show you what the crop looks like as it's growing. Probably the first and second step, and then I'm gonna show you when it's ready to harvest, and we'll get our next step going. So this is step 1, as expected, just a dirt plot. You can also see in the map what step you're at. Step 2. This is step 3, I believe. We are actually going into the next day. That's why time skipping, as you could say, is really important, because you really don't want to watch this stuff grow. This is what it looks like for step 4. It is right before harvest, or ready to harvest. You can actually see at the bottom right that it's still growing, so it's not ready yet. Okay, we are at the last step. It's ready to harvest. We're actually into the next day. Don't forget to stop your time. And we're going to go to the next step, which is picking your harvester. And you're going to need to transport it, so we need to get a tipper. We are now at the shop. We're going to pick a harvester. We are going to go into harvesters. Now, here again, the things I'm looking for are the amount of horsepower, how fast it can go, and how much it can hold. We have a fairly small field. Oh, and I almost forgot the type of attachment that it can take. Real simple tip and trick here is that the New Holland tractors are going to use the New Holland headers, and so on and so forth. Like the John Deere are going to use the John Deere headers. For our small field, I'm just going to use this New Holland one for 100,000. Let's go ahead and buy it. Then we need a header. This is where it changes up. So if you were doing corn or sunflowers, you get a corn header. But for our type of field, we just want a regular header. And like I said, the New Holland, see how it matches up? This is the one we're going to get, and it does wheat. Okay, let's jump into our harvester. And our attachment, just go up to the back of it, hit your attach button, and it should just connect. Now the harvester's at the field, so now we need something to transport it. We're going to be looking into trailers or tippers. So we're going to trailers. Depending on the type of field that you're doing or how large it is, you're going to want to pick a tipper or trailer that can go with your tractor or truck. The tractor that we're using is a medium-sized tractor. It needs to be either a ball joint or a pin, but there are attachments for some of the larger ones. That's for a different topic. We're doing very basic. So we're going to go into this guy over here, the SEK802. Now, the reason why I picked him is he can actually be upgraded. We can actually change how much he can hold. this is going to do us just fine for this tutorial. I'm going to go ahead and buy this. Same thing with all the tractor equipment. So you just back up to it and you attach it. After I get this attached, I'm going to meet you at the field and show you the next step. We are at our field. Our harvester is lined up and it's ready to go. So we're going to go to the very edge. We're going to unfold our harvester. It's going to unfold everything. Then we need to lower it, turn it on, and I like to hire a worker. That's just me. Little tips and tricks about the harvester. He has an internal storage, so if you look at the bottom right, you can see how full he is. And he has a nozzle or a swivel. You can actually see it on the left hand side. When he is full, it's going to stop. That swivel's going to pop out, and then we can unload it. So I'm going to skip out a little bit, wait for him to go, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like for him to fill up and then beep a little bit and swivel out when he's ready to unload. Oh, I almost forgot to mention the swath that he's dropping on the floor. That swath, the little gray little patch, that can be picked up and sold as well. I'm going to show you what to do with that at the end. If you really want to go into more depth onto making bales, I actually have another video. I'm going to leave a link down in the description just in case you want to learn about that as well. Okay, so for those of you that are looking at this thing and you're waiting, you don't have to wait for this thing to be done. You can actually already start to pick up the straw that's on the floor. Now, I'm going to show you how to do it with the loading wagon, but for those of you who want to make bales, I would suggest you watch my baling tutorial to get into bales and how to deal with that. But for people who just want to pick it up and just want to sell it, we're going to go to the shop and I'm going to show you how to do it. We're at the shop. We're looking at loading wagons. That's the tab you want to be in. Now, please pay attention and don't make the same mistake I did, and pay attention to how much horsepower it takes. Also pay attention to how much it can carry. We are going to use this one, the Repex 334S. It's 80,000. And what this does is this little, I don't know what to call it, but it drops down. It'll pick up the leftovers, which is straw or wheat or even hay, and it will put it in its back and it'll be ready for you to transport or to sell. So we're going to buy this. It's just like any other trailer. You just go up to it, back into it with your trailer and pick it up. I'm going to meet you at the field and I'm going to show you what this looks like when it's working. You're now at my field. There is fresh straw on the floor. We need to pick it up. So we have our loading wagon on the back. First thing you do is lower it, then turn it on and drive straight. And it will pick up whatever's on the floor and put it into the back, as you can see here. There is a way to condense this all down into a little pile with the windrowers, but this is more advanced. I'm guessing not everybody's going to be doing this, but I just wanted to show you this. All right. Now, how to sell it. I'm going to go ahead and stop this. Now, to sell the straw, there's only one place that will take the straw right now, and that is the barn. So I click the barn. You want to tag the place so that you know that you're going there, and I'll meet you over there and I'll show you what it looks like to sell a little bit of straw. We are now at the barn. You can actually see the little glowing spot where the sell point is. Go ahead and line up our tractor. It's going to prop you with the button when you're ready to sell. Look, now we're in position. You hit your button and now you're selling your wheat. Now obviously I don't have a full trailer, but this is very important when you have byproducts. You want to pick that up and use it because it's more money in your pocket. Now back to the field. Okay, the harvester's just about ready to go. He's going to slow down. And look, he is completely full. He's going to stop. The little shindig's going to stick out. It's ready to unload. You switch to your tractor. Get your tractor going with its tipper. You're just going to go on the left-hand side of the harvester. And he's going to automatically unload the wheat into the tipper. Just wait and wait. He's gonna keep going. He's gonna unload, and then he's gonna keep going. You're gonna need to get out of his way, or else he's just gonna be stuck waiting there forever for you to move. So we're waiting and waiting. 30%. He's gonna unload all of it and then keep going. It'll stop. Oh, he's ready. Let's get out of his way. He's gonna keep going. Don't worry, you didn't lose anything. Most cases, I would tell you just wait until he's full again and then take it all at once. But I'm gonna show you how to sell your crop next. What you do is you go into your menu, you go into your prices, and make sure you click the right icon. Now you can see your prices for wheat. You want to pick the highest, which is the ranch. You tag it, go into your map, make sure you see where it's at. Oh, there it is. I'm going to meet you right over there. It's going to be just like selling the straw. We're going to skip over there and I'll show you what it's like. Okay, we made it. It was a bit of a trek, but we made it. And it's just like the other point. You go to the sell point, pull your tractor with its tipper over the sell point. It's going to prompt you to unload. You hit your button, you unload, and you cash in. Look at that, $4,000 that we didn't have. Now we do. Now you know the basic steps. You learned how to pick a field, how to cultivate, how to plant, how to harvest, how to pick up the byproducts, which is straw in this case, and how to sell both those byproducts. I want to thank you guys for watching. I also want to let you know that the next video is going to cover the more advanced stuff. So we're talking about plowing, fertilization, lime, and wheat. So I want to thank you guys for watching. If you haven't subbed, please sub, and you have a nice day.